Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and I hope that you are well, inshallah. It has been a while since I've sat down and filmed a video, and that is basically what this video is going to be about. It's just a little bit of an update on life, what happened towards the end of the last year, and then hopefully like an idea of what I'm going to be doing this year going forward, inshallah, and what I'm going to be sharing with you on this channel. So thank you very much for clicking onto the video. So I guess the best place to start is that there have been two big updates in my life. One is that I now live in Manchester. So since I kind of stopped filming so many vlogs, like daily kind of vlogs that I was filming when I was living in Cardiff earlier on last year, I did move to Manchester in the summer. So that feels really nice. It's a really good city to live in. And then the second update is that I got married and that is the reason for my move to Manchester. So we did our nikah at the end of the summer, which was really lovely. And then we did our registry wedding before the end of last year, the end of 2021, which was really nice. And then we moved into this house that we now live in Manchester. So there's been a lot going on. Definitely also a lot in terms of, you know, thinking about how kind of quickly I got married, I guess, in terms of comparing that to like what my non-Muslim friends do and what I considered more like normal before becoming a Muslim. You know, a lot of my friends, they've been with their partners for a long time, they've even been engaged now for a long time, had to move weddings back because of COVID, and then I just kind of like snuck in, met someone, got married, and then I'm married, and they're like, what just happened there? But it has felt really nice, you know, like the whole process of us meeting, which I'm probably not going to go into too much detail because obviously it is like personal and private. He is a born Muslim, his family are from Libya. He lived in Libya for a couple of years and then lived elsewhere in Europe for a couple of years, and then he's lived in Manchester here for the last 20 years. So yeah, we met through a mutual friend and kind of connected through our mutual love of travel and hiking and adventure. And that mutual friend that we also have is all into all of those things as well. So it was just, you know, we met just so perfectly. And then just, you know, everything kind of leading up to the nikah and then to the wedding and living together now was just full of ease. And, you know, it has been such an amazing process. And even when we were at times when we were like, you know, is this what we want to do? You know, we just kept thinking about, you know, how it really felt like Allah had just planned this so perfectly because everything just worked. It was just so full of ease. It was really incredible, subhanallah. And I think in other videos maybe I'll go forward talking about maybe what it's been like being a revert getting married, or maybe things that like that are different, yeah, between being a revert Muslim married to a born Muslim. I mean, I think we are, you know, he is very open-minded, he knows a few reverts already, so he definitely understands, you know, the things that are still new to me and things that are still different. And obviously, most importantly as well, like the fact that my family isn't Muslim and I've got friends that are not Muslim. So, you know, if they come and stay with us or when we see them, you know, it is slightly different than being in like, you know, being around Muslims. And he's very aware of that. And he was very aware of that before we, you know, got engaged and got married. So that's obviously a huge thing, I think, when thinking about who you're going to marry. And that was something that I knew that I had to be aware of. And, you know, things like the difference between culture and Islam, something that I talk about a lot on here. You know, that was a big conversation that we had. You know, alhamdulillah, he hasn't really got too much in his family or in his life that's overly culture rather than Islam. So that hasn't been like an issue for us. And, you know, we did go on a few trips together. We were in Norway together, which I vlogged, and then also Andorra. We were with a friend that are a couple in Andorra, but it was awkward because it was like I didn't really want to talk about him too much, and I showed a couple of clips of him just because he was in the shot, and I wasn't trying to hide the fact that I was with, you know, a man away, but because at this point we had done our nikah, so we were Islamically husband and wife, so of course we were absolutely able to travel together. But definitely something that I think is something that reverts definitely need to think about quite a lot is at what point, you know, do you say, it's hard to explain it to other people. So for example, when we did the nikah, we did it with his family, because obviously his family are all Muslim. That seemed like the best thing to do, you know, as we were having the nikah done, which thankfully his brother-in-law is an imam, and he did our nikah for us. But of course everything was in Arabic, although he did translate it to English, so I did understand it in English as well. But it just felt like that was the right thing for his family to be there for. And then we did the ceremony registry with my family. But of course, even though we were husband and wife after the nikah, in the eyes of God and Islamically, you know, we called ourselves husband and wife, but we weren't yet living together. And also even online, and like, I didn't want to start talking about my husband because we hadn't yet done the ceremony wedding, which really felt like that more like actually secured us as husband and wife. I think from what I've heard, it's very different. Like, some people only just start seeing each other more after the nikah. Some people, it's like they're fully married, they move in together. Some people then want to wait until they're like to move in together until they've done the registry and a big celebration. And I think it depends on like what your family does and what's kind of like culturally like normal to your family, and obviously what you want to do. But definitely as a revert, I think those two kind of weddings can maybe be a bit confusing to other people. So yeah, so I basically didn't want to come on here saying like, oh, my husband, and then my family are like, we haven't even been to the wedding yet. What do you mean he's your husband? Even though they knew we'd done the Islamic wedding, but I just didn't want to like talk about it too much until my family and friends and people, they know that we've done the actual registry wedding. But it will be nice, inshallah, to be able to feature him on a few videos going forward, or at least not have to kind of cut him out of shots and tell him to move out of the way. So that will be nice. And talking of trips as well, kind of on a slightly different tangent, still a bit of an update really. I've shared about modest fitness before on here. I was doing the 30-day Me to Her challenge, and Abdia, who runs Modest Fitness, me and her have become really good friends. I went to see her in Spain in the autumn, and from that we have decided to set up retreats for Muslim women. So we currently have 4 retreats in Spain on sale, 2 of which I'm going to be there for, 2 of which she's running, and we're looking at the moment to start running retreats in different locations. So that's kind of like a new, you know, like branch of business life that's developed for me over the last few months, and that's something that of course you can join us on as well. Of course, if you are female only, you don't have to be like definite Muslim yet. We do have some ladies that are coming on who haven't done the Shahada, but they are really close to doing the Shahada, and what they're really looking for is a community of Muslim women to be around, and that's what we're going to be offering. So really excited about that. I am going to do another video about that coming up, just with some more details, especially once we've announced the second location, because at the moment we just have Spain on sale in Granada, which is amazing. It's like 5 days, 6 nights, all inclusive, like a health, fitness, spirituality retreat, all for Muslim women only. And I will leave a link below, basically where you can get all the information from, learn about the dates and kind of how to go forward with booking, is in a Facebook group. So I'm going to leave that below, but I will do another video about that. But that is another little update, and really, you know, excited to be able to do some trips which you can join me on, and I can actually meet people in person. You know, I'm really looking forward to that, and inshallah there'll be some other trips going forward. If you don't know, just before COVID, I started running group tours for women, which obviously came to a halt during COVID, and it's something that I've not started back up. And a lot of people were asking me like, are you still going to be running trips? Are you doing this? Are you still going to be traveling? But obviously I knew like, I'm getting married, so I'm going to be staying here in the UK full time and doing trips from here, and things like, you know, doing all of these trips have now reduced for me, or at least right now I haven't got the time, but I haven't been able to say any of that because I've been keeping everything very quiet. So it does feel nice to be able to, you know, explain what's been going on and what is going on going forward. And then other things that I really want to be sharing this year, you know, I am in a lucky position because I post so publicly on here and on Instagram. You know, I do get contacted by quite a few businesses, especially regarding like Arabic and the Quran, and small businesses, hijabs, modest clothing. And so, you know, I really want to be able to share those more with you and use my platform to be able to help those, especially the small businesses, the female run small Muslim businesses, and be able to share those with you. And also just especially resources for reverts as well. For example, I've recently come across the revert channel. Inshallah, I'll do another video about that as well, but I will leave a link below anyway, because, you know, I have so many people who are reverts or looking into reverting to Islam, and, you know, the messages I keep getting are kind of like, oh, you know, I can't find anyone else to meet up with, or I, you know, haven't met anyone else to talk to, or there needs to be a community, or there needs to be a group. And I'm like, there are groups, like there are loads out there already. Definitely doesn't mean that like you shouldn't go and set your own up if you're thinking about it or something, but there are groups out there and there is support out there. You know, there are some really good Facebook groups that are really engaged, like a lot of people post in them. You've got things like the Revert channel, which is a lot of information, a lot of learning, but as well a lot of a big community aspect as well. So there are so many things out there, and I think that I'm very lucky because, like I said, people tag me and stuff, people message me about stuff, so I'm aware of them. And I really want to get you better this year at sharing those more, those resources with you. And if you do follow me on Instagram as well, like I do try and keep my highlights updated. I have like an items that I love one, things like hijabs or prayer dresses, or just like, I don't know, like home bits that I really, really like, that are kind of like Islamically inspired or from small businesses. And then I also have like a resources section, which is like podcasts and books and videos and different subscription apps and channels and things of people doing really, really good things. So I think I am going to leave it there. I mean, there is still so much more that I feel like I could talk about, but I think that maybe it would be better in separate videos. And obviously I just need to work out what I'm going to be sharing online, what I'm going to be keeping more private, and just see how things progress. But it has just been such a blessed year anyway, I can tell you that for sure. And like I said, there just has been so much ease in the last year, and I just feel so grateful for how so many things have worked out, and even just so many things that, you know, like COVID and being in lockdown, how that actually worked in our favour in so many ways, and we really, really saw the positive in that, rather than, you know, kind of thinking it was like a bad thing. It really, really was a blessing, and I'm really glad that we were able to recognise that. Yeah, I just feel really, really lucky and grateful and very, very blessed to be in the situation that I am in now. And yeah, just very, very happy for the year going ahead and the future years, inshallah. And I hope that you obviously have an amazing year ahead. I hope that you had a good start to the year. And I'm really, really looking forward to Ramadan as well. Ramadan is coming up in just a couple of months, and I do plan to make, you know, a lot more content around that as well. And I will see you in my next video, inshallah.